Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, April 19th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? That is way too many cards. 2 cards, please. 2 cards, please. Thank you so much. There we go. So, where we go? We've got here our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our 8 of Swords in its upright. I'm not surprised to see these 2 cards coming out today as we're marching into Taurus season because, and I want to describe that what we're experiencing right now is a continuation of the conversation that we were identifying and recognizing that was occurring with all of those chariot lessons. You'll recall that a lot of, we've been coming through, this energy right now has been working through frustrations, working through a lot of the over-focus on the self. Those Venus and retrograde cycles on top of the Mercury retrograde cycle, creating a lot of that, working through a lot of that feeling of navigating those disparities as it relates to how things are viewed from outside the self versus how it's viewed from within. That's why we even talked about a lot of that work and being able to recognize and identify where the work begins, right? That is what the chariot lessons teach us. That when we navigate, when we work through the observation point of a Venus and Mercury retrograde cycle in combination, feeling like that grit gets thrown on the mirror of the self, right? Instead of throwing it back out at others, right? Instead of projecting, instead of getting defensive, recognizing what it is that we're trying to improve upon, setting those intentions, it allows us for that ability to set the energetic standards or to work with a lot of intentionality. It's not easy right now, right? And I keep on getting, it feels extremely clumsy. But that's what's beautiful, because I keep on seeing that this is a lot, and we were talking a lot about this yesterday as well, in relationality to the misconception that energy often has as it relates to Aries energy and patience. Because one of the things that we talked about yesterday is the fact that Aries are often misambiguated as being impatient. Aries are not impatient when they see progress. If you ever want to see an Aries suddenly have a profound amount of patience, is seeing the energetic potential of another, but not just potential, not latent potential, the potential that is being put into practice. And what does potential put into practice often look like? Stumbling blocks, training wheels, right? The ability of doing something and failing and dusting yourself off and doing it again, right? The act of energetic improvement. The minute, I'm telling you right now, the minute Aries energy sees that in another, I'll challenge you right now. Aries will say, wait a minute, right? That's the thing about Aries. Aries have patience when they say, wait a minute, do that again, right? Because that space or that ability of understanding that, and this is what a lot of this work is about. It's not about potential. It's about potential put into practice becomes progress. It's easy, and this is what and here's the thing about it. It's easy, right? It's easy when we get frustrated to say, forget this, I'm done. This is too hard, right? But when we identify what the work is, nothing is too hard, right? Everything just becomes a question of time and like a prioritization point of time and what it takes to get there. Right? This is all that, I'm telling you, we're going right back into that, all of these heavy Aries and Gemini energies. And this brings us into a lot of the energy that we're approaching right now with Taurus. Because what do Taurus often work through? Pathwork of perseverance, pathwork of energetic commitment of the self, working into the vector or the factor of understanding the patience that we give to ourselves that requires us, again, to work through energetic aversion. This is like a lot of this work that we're seeing right now is the framework of a lot of these energetic relationships that are coming into being right now. And what's interesting about it, and I was reading into this yesterday, I feel like the energy that was in the chariot cycles is now moving deeper into divine union. This is feeling like magician energy. And why is it feeling like magician energy? Because I keep on hearing that there's a lot of energy right now hashing things out. I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy in separation, the ability to hash something out is often articulating upon what feels like it's a strong energetic connection. Because when everything's on the table, right, it's not a question of what can be done. It's the question of what it takes to get there. So there's a lot of this. I keep on hearing that a lot of these partnerships that are starting to form right now, there's a lot of this, like, I keep on seeing like digging into each other, or a lot of that playfulness energy, almost saying like, how long have you guys been together, and being like, we just met kind of energy. Because this is the energy that knows how to hash. And often when we know how to hash, it articulates a comfortability that we've built within ourselves that allows us to feel comfortable in being our authentic self. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy right now that's moving deeper into divine union. This is a lot of the chariot energy that we were identifying that was coming into being during that eclipse process that we're moving out of right now, right? All of this, like I told you, like all of this back and forth energy. You know what I mean? Like this movement of Mercury moving back and forth. What is that? That's the push into a chariot. And what's interesting about it, and again, it's like when you start to build into a chariot energy, the chariot itself rocks, right? The chariot rocks because when you're moving through something, it's not always smooth sailing, right? It requires a little bit of this force or pressure of clumsiness that starts to build into an intentional framework. And so I see some of this chariot energy that we were building into starting to build the momentum of force of reaching cruising speed, right? And a lot of that cruising speed is like we work through hard things to build into something that feels energetically easier. So it's getting the swing of it. Right? That's why the rockiness is there, because when something is energetically rocky, we get into the swing of it, which means we start to be able to feel like the energetic movement of the relationship or of the energetic dynamic point. So I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy they're working through that is like, this is the energy that's saying to one another, and I'm not surprised to be hearing this with the energy that's chariot partnership moving into divine union. They're not saying to each other, you are the ground beneath my feet. They're saying to one another, like they're not saying to one another, you're the wind beneath my wings. They're saying you're the ground beneath my feet, because you need solid ground in order to fly. You need a springboard. You need something that's energetically stable that allows you to be able to build into the momentum of the self. And this is the energy that's saying to one another, I'm not doing anything. And that's the energy that says exactly, because when we create that stability, it allows us to go into hermit energy where we can flourish, right? That's the energy that says, you're giving me the most beautiful gift because you're giving me my energetic time back. I told you, Saturn's on the move right now. While continuing for energy deep within divine union right now, these are those warrior partnerships. These are those warrior partnerships that we saw that we're building in. A lot of the energy deep within divine union right now is working through, and I keep on seeing a lot of those lessons that we spoke about as it relates to navigating aversion. And what's interesting about it is this is energy that is confronting their own aversion of things. I feel like there's some energy right now moving deeper into divine union that's finally ready to heal something, right? Because the context of time, being able to feel that sense of understanding of the self, often when we've built into a framework of healing, it creates a stabilization to be able to confront something that we couldn't confront before. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of those energetic partnerships, that ability of kind of checking the self, recognizing, feeling the momentum of what you aspire to move something forward. And I keep on hearing baby steps. Why is this baby steps? Because when you're trying to heal something in a certain way, you don't press. When you try to put too much energetic force and intention on something you're trying to heal, it doesn't come into the space of recognizing the courtesy through which it's trying to be given. So I keep on seeing I keep on hearing a lot of the energy deep within divine union is working on perfect pitch. Because that perfect pitch is one that you don't energetically force something, but you don't pull back too much. And when we're coming into that space of perfect pitch, it's understanding what type of energy you need to bring to a situation in order to allow for one's intention not to override the energetic offering of moving something into a place that feels better than you found it, is what I keep on hearing. Center card for today's spread. Woo, there it is. Yep, not surprised to see it. There's that energy around the aversion, right? Working through the abandonment wounds. It's not easy. I keep on hearing for energy deep within divine union, the only way out is through. Why is the energy saying the only way out is through? Because, and again, I keep on describing this, and there's a heavy message coming through. Healing isn't just what feels good. Healing that feels good is bypassing. Okay? Healing that feels good is bypassing, right? And so that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, right? Working through one's own aversion, working through that the rigor within the self, right? This is like what allows for an energetic breakthrough point. And that doesn't mean, I keep on hearing, it doesn't mean that you let go of things that aren't energetically important. But you identify and recognize the difference. It feels like something that brings you closer to the higher self, which is the aversion that you feel towards something that is always ready to, the higher self is always ready to have a conversation about it, right? It's always able to walk one through why something is energetically important, versus those aversions that come more from the ego or from the defense mechanism of the self, right? Like, what does the ego often say? Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Like the ego goes, don't go in there. Because the ego is not about facing things. It's about trying to protect the self, right? And so I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that work as it relates to navigating through those moments or those experiences that are difficult. But this is the energy that's like moving into that space of saying like healthy, like healing is where one applies the work, right? And often where one applies the work in the self, in the process. Now, for masculine and feminine energy that are coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, like this is what I mean. Like this is the energy that's saying, I keep on hearing the energy saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And why is the energy saying thank you? Because the energy is saying, I've got my time back. They're saying the gift that they're receiving coming into divine union is a gift of Saturn, right? Saturn moving out of Pisces into Aries. Because when we're in healthy partnership, we feel like we get our energetic time back that allows us to start to do the work on the self. So this is the energy that's like, finally in that space where they're recognizing the assignment, and they're also in a space where they feel they have the easement and being in a place of groundedness that allows them to come into that space of being able to finally address and work on something that they may have felt like they had to bypass prior to this point. While for masculine and feminine energy right now in separation, I just keep on, I keep on seeing like some of these partnerships right now that are forming. I keep on hearing, I keep on hearing hashing conversations. And why does it sound like it's hashing conversations? Because hashing conversations means when we're in a space of authenticity, and I'm telling you even now, there's some energy right now that is recovering. I'm telling you, they're recovering from, they're recovering. I keep on hearing they're recovering from wind relationships. And when they say wind relationships, they're saying whim relationships, because whim relationships that are built on whim, right? The energetic connections where one only does something when they're feeling inspired. It's almost very hard to pull away from those type of relationships because it's hard to put your finger on what's missing. It's hard to put your finger on consistency, right? It's hard to put your finger on consistency until you have something to energetically compare it to. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy, there's something about that invested effort that immediately leads to hashing, because the minute that you're able to see it in another, right? The beautiful gift of someone that is trying, it creates that place of clarity as it relates to someone that was moving towards you only when they felt in the mood, only when they felt the inclination, right? And so I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's like there's a lot of this energy coming into, there's a lot of this energy that's coming, and the reason they're saying they're magician partnerships is because the energy's going the whole time. The energy's going the whole time is what I keep on hearing. The whole time I could have had this is what I keep on hearing. Like the energy is like hashing on that because they're recognizing what was missing. Continuing to get clarification, fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread. We've got here, yep, there's the Knight of Pentacles in combination with our Page of Cups. And this is how Jupiter and Gemini is helping us with these lessons, and this is why we talk about sometimes closure is found going forward instead of going backwards. Because when you haven't experienced something, it's hard to articulate upon what's missing. Like when you haven't experienced something, it's hard to articulate upon what's missing. And then when you experience it, you can't believe you didn't see it before. But that's why this type of energy, it feels like that's why I keep on hearing that these relationships that are forming right now are magician energy, because you're able to see the disappearing act. Is what I keep on hearing. You're able to see the energetic disappearing act as it relates the minute you're able to move into energetic relationship with someone that's showing you the investiture of committed effort. So everything I keep on seeing here, like there's a lot of those closure points that are happening right now. There's a lot of that frustration that's being released, but this is what's beautiful about it, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy working in that space, like the ability to identify and recognize intentionality. Like there's a lot of this energy. I keep on hearing these are the partnerships that are moving forward, and they're saying I prioritize energy that prioritizes me. And that doesn't mean that you wait for someone to prioritize you. The lessons we talk about here, a manifestation is never about waiting. It's about observing, right? It's not about waiting for something to change. It's about recognizing whether it's in the space of one's manifestation. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our 8 of Swords in its upright. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through right now, and we've had a lot of conversations about this. Manifestation is not the act of saying make this that. Okay, it's not the energy that goes make this that. It's the opposite. It's manifestation is help me see. Help me see. Because when we go into those processes of manifestation that we say make this that, right? It's like we're trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat. It's like it's ridiculous. It's like the universe is saying, often in those moments, we have those opportunities or those experiences that feel like they create those places of frustration, or they create those moments of confusion. But instead, we understand and recognize that the force of progress that is identified in relationality to moving something in the direction that we aspire and desire it to go is built upon the context of recognizing what is not that, right? Because when we're able to do that work, when we're able to recognize and identify that, it moves us forward towards our goals. We're not in a space of wishing, right? Because what is a wish? A wish is a latent manifestation. It's waiting for something to happen. A manifestation is a wish with legs. It's not the space of waiting for something to change. It is articulating and moving in the direction of what you feel is going towards that goal. And so that's why I keep on seeing that there's something about these partnerships that are taking off right now. They're clumsy. Right? It's not that they're perfect. Okay, I need to stress this. We work through a lot of those experiences of working through healing from the state of perfection. But when we ourselves move with intention, the gift that we are able to find, when we become something, we're able to see it. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy that's moving with intention. And in the moment that they start to move with intention, what do you get? You get the eyes to be able to see the intention, the energetic intention of others, right? We embody what we become. We embody the work of the healthy manifestation that allows us to be able to find it. So I keep on seeing that there's a bit of a gift that's happening right now, particularly as it relates to some of these new energetic connections that are forming, that is helping to recognize and identify the difference between what is versus what is not, right? It's like, and again, it has a bit to do with the Jupiter and Gemini energy, because I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy in separation, building into a context with someone and seeing that invested effort, it's like a little bit of that gasp, because it's suddenly being able to see what was energetically missing, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, working through that, like this is the energy. Like I keep on seeing the energy that keeps on thanking one another. They just keep on profoundly thanking one another. And I keep on seeing the same thing, like the chariot partnerships, someone being like, I'm not doing anything. And the energy's going, you're doing, like, yes, thank you, right? Because when we are able to build that reliability, when we create that reliability in ourselves, then that is a gift that another finds within us. And this is why I keep on seeing that for a lot of those energetic connections, being able to recognize and identify the reliability that we create in healthy partnership, right? Knowing what we can energetically expect, building those energetic standards, it frees us back up. It gives us our energetic time back, because it allows us the context and being able to work on the self. This is why the energy is moving into hermit energy, because this is the energy that says, because of the stable ground you create, I am allowed to flourish. I am allowed to thrive, right? Because it is the allowance point of the stability of partnership that creates the healthy environment by which one can put one's own energy back into the self. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy deep within divine union, that ability, I keep on seeing that I keep on hearing, this is a lot of the energy deep within divine union that keeps on saying to themselves, feelings have nothing to do with it. Why is a lot of the energy deep within divine union saying feelings have nothing to do with it? Because often when we're working on healing something, we recognize what the feelings are that are coming from our ego, right? What are the feelings that are coming through from our ego versus what feels like it moves us in the direction of the higher self? And so I keep on seeing there's something about the sensitivity of certain situations that are occurring right now within divine union that is working through the context of having to heal something, trying to heal something, but having to work through the feelings of the ego in the process is what I keep on seeing. And so I keep on identifying that for some of that energy, that's why I keep on hearing the energy deep within divine union. It's why it's like warrior energy. Like the warrior energy is saying feelings have nothing to do with it, because that's the energy that says when you're building upon intention, you sometimes have to challenge oneself through the egoic journey, right? Like this is what we talk about when we talk about humility. We don't mean abandoning the ego entirely. It means moving through the ego, right? To be able to get to the side of what it is that you're protected, like you're trying to what it is that you're trying to work through. And I keep on seeing that there's a lot of those conversations that are happening right now for energy deep within divine union, working through hard feelings to try to divine what is coming from the space of the ego versus what's coming from the higher self. I keep on seeing trying to find that path work that allows for productivity, right? And so I can see there's a lot of conversation that's happening in that. I'm continuing to get clarification between our eight of swords and our 5 of pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through right now with our 3 of cups in its reversal. So, one of the things that we're recognizing here is I keep on hearing for a lot of the energy working through the space of trying to navigate and find solutions. I keep on hearing energy almost talking back and forth among themselves and saying it's not that simple, right? Potentially in that space of trying to offer a solution and then building into the journey of understanding the nuances of situations, right? I almost see that there's a lot of this I keep on hearing there's a lot of work as it relates to the intricacies or the matrices of relationships, right? The sensitivities, the things of that nature. So I keep on seeing that working through the context of a lot of that delicacy, I keep on seeing it's a lot of energetic unpacking, but it's trying to unpack for the sake of better productivity, right? So, and I keep on seeing like it has to do with navigating the space of recognizing and identifying courtesy, or what one can do to try to ease a situation or work in a space of trying to make something better. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is why I keep on seeing that this is like, there are some real wounds of intimacy that are healing, coming out of this Libra full moon cycle. I just keep on seeing, and that's the thing about it. These Libra, like the pink moon in Libra, it's working through intimacy. It's working through wounds of intimacy. And the thing about it is, when we're healing wounds of intimacy, it's very easy to get triggered. It's very easy to have those moments of having to articulate upon the past. But this is why I keep on seeing that there's this gift that is happening for the energy in coming into divine union, because this is the energy that's saying to one another, never before have I felt this stability. Never before have I met that energetic connection wherein one builds into the context of not taking something personally. Because when we don't take things personally, right? When we don't take things personally, but we're able to be productive through it, like we take the energetic criticism point and we adapt and we evolve. This is the energy that focuses upon, and this is why I see that these are the chariot energies that are moving deeper into divine union. The ability to, the highest gift that you can give energy that's in chariot is solid ground, because that's the solid ground by which you can propel oneself forward. Continuing to get clarification for a lot of this energy and separation right now. This is why this energy, this is why I keep on hearing that these are like, this is the energy that's just hashing it out. Everything's on the table, like conversation sooner rather than later, right? Like this is a lot of this energy that is building into the context of being able to recognize and identify. And I keep on hearing, being very clear in relationality to what one is looking for. That almost like, and I keep on hearing this energy. There's a familiarity. I don't know what I'm getting here, but it's so interesting. I got to check out why it's happening. There is a familiarity that is happening right now in some of these energetic connections that feels like bickering. That's the funny thing about it that I keep reading for. It feels like bickering, like energy that's just coming into connection with one another, and they're just immediately bickering because there's that space of having healed to such a certain extent that I keep on hearing they're not coming into the space of being energetically performative about the self. Right? They're just like, they're skipping ahead. It's like, let's just get, I keep on hearing, like, let's just get over the formalities. This is what I keep on hearing here. Like this is the energy being it almost, it's like, it feels like, it's something, and it feels like something that almost feels like a relief, there's a comfortability here. Continuing, welcome to Taurus season. Continuing a clarification between our Five of Pentacles in combination with our Knight of Pentacles in its reversal. One card to clarify. Ooh, yeah. You know what? It's so funny. I hear a lot of the energy right now in separation saying something to each other along the lines of, I've heard it all before. You know what I mean? Like it's the energy, like it's like the energy that's saying to one another, I've heard it all before. But and that's what I mean. Like there's something, I don't know why I'm getting it, but it almost feels like there's something energetically romantic about the fact that the energy's healing from romance. You know what I mean? Like there's like, it's almost giving me some kind of vibration of healthy cynicism, which is almost like, I want to see, it's like, I keep on hearing it's like a play area is what I keep on seeing, because I need to describe this, and I keep on building into this context of this is energy that was in some kind of whim relationship, right? And when you're in whim relationships, this is the energy that felt like they were trying to contort themselves or twist themselves into some kind of situation where someone would give them more interest. But then that moment of recognizing that when you're in a when you're in a relationship that's not consistent, nothing you do to twist yourself into a space of another person building interest is going to change it, right? That the only thing consistent is the inconsistency. This is why this energy is like coming towards each other with so much of like, this is who I like, this is who I am now. Like this, the energy going, this is who I am now, because they're saying I'm not going. I keep on hearing the energy say, it's not that they're not willing to change, but they're not willing to change in order to arrest another person's attention, right? Like that's the energy saying, I'm not going to be in that space of trying to do so. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's something like it feels very, I keep on hearing it feels very casual in some of these new relationships, because this is the energy that's saying, like almost saying like I want you, I'm not like, this is the energy that's trying to articulate and say that like that consistency is not something that they're trying to beg for. It's something that they're just paying attention to as it relates to being there or not, right? While for masculine and feminine energy, it's giving me like a lot of this like hands on the hips kind of energy. You know what I mean? But in a good way, right? Because it's something that I keep on seeing, that the energy is seeing something that they couldn't see before. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is the ground that we're talking about. Heavy on the threes today. A lot of three energy here. And when we see three energy, it's about stabilization, right? When energy creates stable foundation, it allows the ability to focus on the self. And this is why the energy is saying to one another, thank you, because I'm getting my time back. Right, like the energy's going, because when you don't have to spend all of your energy in trying to create stable ground, you have time. You have time to be able to focus on the self. Is what I see. Continuing to get clarification here for energy deep within divine union. I'm just seeing that for a lot of the energy right now coming deep within divine union, a lot of that work or a lot of that, like a lot of those conversations, I just keep on getting. It's a lot of that work as it relates to, identifying and working on what feels like it's moving in positive direction. And it's interesting too, because you'll remember we talked about the space of identifying. This is why I keep on hearing that some of the energy deep within divine union is working on or focusing upon Aries, which is recognizing, and I keep on seeing, like I keep on hearing like the messages coming through with a lot of the Aries lessons is, Aries pays attention to, it's not just enough, and here's the thing with Aries, it's not just enough that someone has potential. Like, it's not just enough that, it's like Aries is like, it's not just enough that someone has potential. It's understanding that the potential becomes like potential. I keep on hearing the difference between gifts and talents. And why is that? Because the ability to move something into the directionality of energetic practice. Like this is why we often see these conversations with energy in Aries, because it's not enough to have potential. Potential without the desire to move something into accordance with it, right? Like potential without practice just remains potential. And this is why I keep on hearing like the Aries energy working in that context of saying like that space or that acknowledgement point. And this is why I feel like these are a lot of those inward conversations as it relates to like what one can move into a space of productivity. Because I keep on hearing that there's conversations about, productivity and energetic potentiality, but also working through the context of, and I keep on seeing, how do I describe this? It's perfect pitch is what it basically is. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Pentacles and its reversal in combination with our Page of Cups. Can I get one card to clarify? I know I need to clarify the perfect pitch thing. Give me a minute. Clarification coming through right now with our Seven of Swords in its reversal. So why are we seeing this here? It's giving me a lot of it's going through the space of understanding that the direction that we move things in that feel like they are more energetically productive have to do with those spaces and places as it relates to doing the work on the self, to making the energetic adaptations. So that ability of doing so, and this is what was so difficult, right, during those Venus in retrograde cycles on top of the Mercury retrograde cycles, really easy to get really hard on the self, really easy to get very over focused on the fact that you're not moving in calibration to one's own potential. But we talk a lot about the fact that being in a balanced proportional space with the self is you don't beat yourself over the head with your own potential, right? We work in connection with a higher self, and we don't feel that weight of agony as it relates to working in accordance with what it is that we're trying to improve upon. Right? It's really, it's like the energy that's getting over the space of feeling that one is never good enough, right? Often, and it's the irony point that often when we're moving towards our potential, we always feel frustrated at ourselves. And this is why we say it's not about being frustrated, it's about proportioning the frustration with action, with adjustment, with accommodation, with adaptability. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of that work, that identification point is helping some energy right now work through something. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Cups in its reversal in combination with our 3 of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our 7 of Cups in its reversal. And one of the things that I keep on seeing here, how do I describe this? Working through the ability, I keep on seeing, and I keep on hearing too, a lot of that space in terms of identifying and recognizing. I keep on hearing positive direction is not just about intention. Why do we keep on hearing positive direction is not just about intention? Because when we are conscientious about how we apply our intention, we are in attunement to recognizing the desires of others, right? It's not I keep on hearing it's not about pushing. It's about the adaptability of recognizing what it is that we're working on changing. And there's a lot of that space. It's not that it's perfect. Right? It's not that it's not like those, it's like it doesn't require absolute perfection. But when we adjust, and I told you, like there's like, and it has to do a little bit right now with the Libra energy, right? Being able to recognize or to register something that you're trying to change in such a way. Like sometimes, I keep on hearing, sometimes a little change is all that's needed to be able to impact something in a bigger way. And I feel like a lot of that adaptability, a lot of that force of intention, I keep on seeing that this is the energy that is not being so hard on themselves in terms of trying to take too much on, but trying to like navigate. I keep on hearing like navigating their inch to the best of their efficacy. And why do we talk about navigating our inch? Because that ability of identifying and recognizing, trying to move something subtly in the direction that we aspire it to go, this is often the amplification of courtesy, because we don't force, right? We don't push. We allow for that registering of recognizing what another aspires and desires to do. And I keep on seeing that there's something about that for energy deep within divine union in articulating and drawing upon nuance. So I keep on hearing there's a lot of those nuanced conversations that are occurring right now for energy deep within divine union. And what's beautiful about that is the ability, I keep on hearing, the ability of being in alignment with someone is the ability to have a very nuanced conversation, because you don't feel the need of having to explain yourself, right? When we know each other, right? When we know each other, I keep on hearing, when we know each other like the back of our hands, then we can have these incredibly nuanced conversations. And this is why I keep on seeing that a lot of that energy is building into that framework of appreciation for one another, because it is that space of understanding. And like I keep on hearing the energy say, like, you understand my intentions. Another person being like, no, I understand completely. You don't have to explain it. While for masculine and feminine, coming into divine union, this is the energy that's finally coming into a space that they can build upon the nuances of the self. Like, this is the energy that's going, thank goodness I can finally turn my attention inwards. That's why I see this energy moving into It's interesting. I feel like the energy deep within Divine Union right now is moving into star energy. I feel like the energy coming into Divine Union right now is moving into hermit energy. And I feel like a lot of the energy right now in separation is moving into magician energy, because I keep on hearing everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Pardon the mess is what I keep on hearing. Clarification between Three of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Three of Wands in its upright. And I feel like, okay, I already hear the message coming. Yeah, there's that hermit energy. And it's so funny because I think I've told you guys this card does not always come out in my readings. It likes to put, it puts in appearances. But here's the thing about it, like the reason that the Hermit card is out for the energy and separation is I keep on hearing the energy and separation say, I cannot stress to you how I'm not trying to impress you. And there's something about that. There's something about that it's funny because it almost feels like cuffing season energy, even though we're moving into spring, because it's a lot of that energy that says I'm not looking. And I keep on hearing there's some energy right now that's healing from whim relationships. And when we're in whim relationships, it feels like we can't be our authentic self because we're trying to get someone's interest, or trying to like it's like that space, like, again, and this is what's so difficult, because often we recognize that we're in whim relationships when we try to air frustration, and the minute you air frustration, the energy goes away, and then it goes, oh, I got to stop doing that. I have to stop complaining so much. And that's the energy that suddenly has that like light bulb moment of going, if I'm in a space where something's bothering me and I have to say to myself that I need to stop complaining in order to perpetuate into it, well, am I able to be the authentic self in the relationship, right? It's not about like a healthy relationship is not one that it feels like you have to restrain yourself from articulating something that's bothering you. It's the space where you feel the easement in recognizing and feeling the accessibility point that you will always be able to hash it out, right? The energetic breath of healthy partnership, the need that is met with progress, right? So a lot of this energy, I keep on seeing that this energy, like this is why the new partnerships that are occurring right now with the energy moving back into Aries is saying, I'm not looking to impress anyone. Like, hallelujah. Because that's the energy that says, I shouldn't have to impress you. I shouldn't have to feel like I need to impress you to build into the pathwork of having intentional action. Right? Like you can't, and this is the energy that recognizes and identifies and says that when energy is prioritizing us, the time that we give each other, the consideration of our time, that is something that is expressed and isn't something that we feel like we need to draw out in another, right? And so this is why I see that there's something it's almost interesting because this is energy that is literally healing from past relationship via the way that they are presenting themselves in new partnership. While for masculine and feminine energy, and I need to stress this isn't the energy that says I'm not trying, right? This is the energy that says I'm not, it's like the energy saying I'm trying to move in accordance with my higher self. I'm not trying to energetically impress another. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that a lot of this energy that I told you, like this is the energy that's saying to each other, thank you. And the energy is saying, I'm not doing anything. And the energy is going, you're giving me back my time. I told you Saturn's moving into Aries. And this is the energy that's saying when we're in healthy partnership, the beautiful, profound gift that we receive is not having to spend all of our time worrying about the condition of the relationship. We're not having to check on the patient of the relationship constantly, right? When the relationship's in a healthy energetic space, you don't have to constantly pulse check it. And this is the energy that's saying to them, like to one another, you have no idea the gift that you're giving me, because this is the energy that's saying that the fact that I don't have to constantly be perseverating over the pulse of the relationship allows the self to flourish. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, there's a lot of like, I feel like there's a lot, it feels like shadow work, but I need to stress this. It's shadow work in the realm of aversion, right? It's the shadow work that we do as it relates to the things that bother us. Because when we're in that space and we identify and articulate why something bothers us, it helps us see ourselves more clearly, right? It's not about not being bothered by everything. That's ridiculous. Like the higher self wants us to be bothered about things, right? The higher self, we've talked about that exquisite insistence point in something that perpetually bothers us because it's not okay. And the beautiful thing about that is the higher self is always ready to explain why something might bother the self, right? The higher self's like, take a seat. How much time do you have? Whereas the ego is always like, no, don't look over there. No, I don't want to talk about it, right? And often when we have those moments within ourselves that we go, why does this bother me? And the energy within the self goes, no, then we often can tell that that's the ego trying to protect us from experiencing or recognizing an energetic blind spot within the self. So that's why we see that modality, like this is the energy in divine, deep within divine union, that doesn't shy away from the exploring of the self, particularly in the realm of the things that bother each other or bother the self. Continuing to get a clarification between our 3 of wands in its upright in combination with our 7 of swords in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. There's that Knight of Swords. I'm not surprised to see it in its upright again. Oh man, the only reason I'm laughing about it is because when we were going through that whole cycle with all the planets in Aries, the Knight of Swords was popping up like hotcakes. And then it was really funny because when we saw all the energy dipping back down into Pisces, the Knight of Swords was coming up, but it was in its reversal. Now it's back up into upright again. Now it's back in its upright again. And it's about like, it's working through frustration, right? It's articulating about what bothers us. Right? It's a lot of that energy. I feel like it's a lot of that space that allows, and I keep on seeing like the ability to, I keep on seeing the ability to articulate on why something isn't energetically okay is how we move into a place that allows for solutions, right? It's working through that space. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, working through the intention, working through the invested intention. This is where we see that this is feeling like a lot of those Aries lessons, because I keep on getting this message. It's like, that's the thing. It's a misambiguation. Remembering, it's not that Aries don't have patience. Patience is something that Aries come to work on. Okay? Patience is something that Aries do come to work on here. But it's understanding that, what we perfect requires the resilience of working through our own frustration, right? It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. And I keep on saying it's a lot of that like Aries is a lot of that try and try and try and try and try and try again. But the difference between, the thing about Aries, and I was actually saying this a lot when we had all the planets in Aries, especially with Gemini. Aries and Gemini are similar in this way, right? Go to an Aries and Gemini and ask them if they've ever failed at anything. And they will never say that they failed at anything, because literally Aries and Gemini do not believe that failure exists. It's not a real thing. Aries and Gemini look at the world and say, everything's possible. I just got tired of doing something. I decided that the energetic distribution to make something create was not equitable or was not sane, right? There's a lot of that space. And this is what we talk about the fact that Aries and Gemini energy, it's all about recognizing and identifying the force of progress, even if incremental, right? It's like, it's a lot of that. And this is where I keep on seeing that this is some of that Libra energy that's coming in as well, because that ability of understanding, and this is why I keep on seeing a lot of I feel like there's a lot of work that we're doing right now as it relates to charting progress, right? This is all about charting progress right now. And it's happening across all of the frequencies. And I think it has a lot to do because, again, I'm telling you, with Venus and Mercury that stepped back into Pisces and then moving back into Aries, right? There was something about that moment of contemplation that then allows one the context of being able to see the difference between something that has changed, right? Something that is evolving versus something I keep on hearing, like this is why there's so many closing points right now in cycles in terms of recognizing or identifying or saying the only consistency is the energetic inconsistence, right? And so this is the energy that we're kind of seeing is working in that context of identifying the relationship, right? And this is important for the energy in separation. The difference between seeing the stuttering, I keep on hearing, seeing the on off switch that often happens in a feeling of a relationship that's built more on whim, right? Someone that comes towards you when the mood strikes or the inclination, versus the jittering, the jitters. I keep on hearing the stutters as opposed to the jitters, because like the jitters are energy that's like, I keep on seeing like falling over the self, like trying to come into a point of accommodation, building into that adaptability point and recognizing that force of change. So I keep on hearing that the ability of feeling the endearing jitters of someone that's trying to do something in a better way, versus that like versus that I keep on hearing that nonchalance that is often indicative of someone that only comes towards another when they feel the mood is inclined. And that's why I keep on seeing that this is why there's so much of that energy that's being very authentic in their frustrations, right? They're hashing it out, because this is the energy that's healing in airing frustrations, particularly if these were experiences in the past where there was a like the front, like the ability, like the I keep on saying the quietude that happens when you feel like that unconscious moment that every time you air a grievance, another person goes away, right? So I keep on seeing that there's something very restorational that's happening in these relationships as it relates to being able to speak, to clear the throat chakra, and have someone that feels that is able to do so in the same way. Continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Cups in its reversal in combination with the Hermit card in its reversal. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through the Page of Wands. And I keep on hearing, and I got to stress this, okay? I keep on seeing a lot of this energy, right? They're building into their manifestation. And what are they doing as they're building into their manifestation? What are they saying? I'm sick of this. Why are they saying I'm sick of this as they're building into their manifestation? Because when we say to ourselves, I'm sick of pretending, right? And I can see some energy catching themselves saying, I'm sick of pretending everything is okay, is the moment we often recognize the relationships that say that there's no ability to articulate what's wrong. I'm going to say that again. The energy that immediately says, I'm sick of pretending that everything's okay, is immediately able to recognize the relationship where they realize that they're never permitted to be able to say that there's something wrong. And so this is the energy that comes into that space and feels like, I keep on saying, feels that energetic relief point as it relates to building into the sacred breath of partnership. And this is a lot of the energy, like building upon the sacred breath of partnership as it relates to new energetic connections. Because this is the energy that says, I'm not going to pretend that everything's okay. Because the healthy relationship and partnership isn't going to require me to pretend about anything at all. Right? It's like the energy is like it's the minute that the energy says it, it's like the minute that they register it, because sometimes we tell on ourselves. And so I see that there's a lot of that energy that is almost articulating the experiences of the past relationship. And the ability to articulate upon the past relationship or the past circumstance, and it's like, it's a lot of that energy that's like having that modality and building into a context of someone that says, no, I understand because I've experienced it too, right? And so I keep on seeing that the lot of this cycle that we're moving into right now with Taurus, it's saying to me, it's interesting because like the last energetic cycle with the Chariot energy was energy that was working very hard on manifestation goals, right? Making sure that there was clarity as it relates to direction. A lot of the relationships coming together right now are based upon being able to be in the space of one's authentic self and feeling seen and appreciated in that modality. Continuing to get clarification for energy moving deeper into divine union. Can I please get one card to clarify between the Hermit card in its reversal and the Knight of Swords in its reversal? We've got here the Four of Pentacles in its upright. And this is the energy that I keep on seeing. I keep on hearing, it's like the gift, it's a gift of the intangible gift of giving another the reliability of the self that gives back the time for the self. This is the energy that's saying to one another, this is the chariot energy. This is the chariot energy moving deeper into divine union, because when the chariot energy moves deeper into divine union, they say, you are giving me a gift that is intangible and immeasurable. And that is the stability of the relationship. Because when we build into the stability of partnership, that we don't have to worry about the quality of the partnership, it allows us to flourish within the self. And so this is the energy that almost says, like, through you, I'm able to capture the lotus of the self, because you are the ground from which I can grow. You are the stability point by which I'm allowed and able to find the space of flourishing. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is deep within divine union, this is the warrior. Like, this is a lot of that warrior energy that we saw that was occurring back when we had the Mars retrograde cycle. So a lot of the energy within divine, a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union, that warrior energy, working through the context of nuance, working through the context of courtesy, working through the context of recognizing and understanding the value of healing energetic wounds, right? Because what do we often see with the warrior relationships? We understand with warrior relationships, it's so warriors become warriors when they stop insisting on things, right? When we insist on things, we aren't courteous, even if we're moving with good intention. Courtesy is being able to offer something to another with the invested desire of where you hope something to go, right? And that's why I keep on hearing, this is the energy that is moving in the context of, I keep on hearing, extending an olive branch but not cutting down the tree, moving something forward in a directionality point to see the possibility of what could happen in the midst of that, right? It's a lot of that work as it relates to delicacy and patience. Final card for today's spread, between our Page of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Four of Pentacles in its upright. May I have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now. You know, it's so funny because when I first started doing this reading, this Nine of Cups was like popping out from the deck, and I actually was putting it back. It wanted to make an appearance. And it's bridge energy. It's beautiful. I love Nine of Cups is one of my favorite cards because I keep on hearing, we work through the aversion of the self to recognize the bridge to what it is that we desire to move something in the direction that we hope it goes. And it's really important because it's saying to me that there's a lot of that work that's happening right now as it relates to manifestations. And we talked a lot about this. You know, manifestation is not the space. I mean, here's the thing about it. You know, manifestation is not about trying to jam the square peg into the round hole. I mean, you can do that, but you have to remember that things can sometimes look like our manifestations, but they don't energetically feel like our manifestations. So when we pay attention, right, and this is why often with a healthy manifestation, we don't talk about putting our desire in terms of what it looks like, but working in the space that understand that the universe works towards energy, right? It works towards what it is that we're aspiring to move towards. So when we start to build into understanding that a healthy manifestation is not one that we look for, we feel into it. You know, we ask ourselves, our feelings are important. So we see even now that the ability to feel into things is so valuable, because we see, and this is why we have to work on our feelings, right? Because if we work in that space of disassociating from our emotions and we're never able to feel anything, like that's, again, a healthy manifestation is not one that requires you to disassociate in order to move closer towards it. And that relates to the self as well. Right? This is why we talk about the fact that healing kind of stinks, because we start feeling more. And some of the things we feel isn't great, but it's not about what feels good, right? It's about recognizing why it doesn't feel good. It's about understanding the map work of the emotional space. So I keep on seeing that's why, like, I got to tell you, like, I see some energy right now, and this is happening across all the frequencies. It has to do with navigating through aversion. Right? And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, This is why I feel like there's a bit of this shift that's happening right now for some of the energy coming, like the partnerships, like the cycle of partnerships we've seen this year. Beginning of the year, we had warrior partnerships. Coming into this, like coming through this cycle, we had chariot partnerships. And this is why I'm describing this as feeling like magician energy, because everything's on the table. Again, it's like everything's on the table. The desire to hash something out, the desire of someone saying, I'm not, and it's interesting because this is the energy saying, I don't want to feel like I need to pretend in partnership. I shouldn't have to feel like I need to pretend in partnership. That recognizing that the energetic counterpart, and that doesn't mean, right? That doesn't mean that we're not actively working on the self. Right? It's not that the space that you're like an absolute disaster and you say you either accept me as a disaster or you don't accept me at all. Like that's ridiculous. Nobody puts up with that. Like that's a lesson of the Aries cycle. That when we come into this space that we say I am a work in progress. Right? And that's why I keep on seeing that this is happening for a lot of this energy and separation, which is saying again, I am a work in progress, and someone that is for me will appreciate the masterpiece of coming into myself. Like this is the energy that's working right now, not in trying to pretend that something's okay when it's not, but finding, like clearing the throat chakra, right? Articulating upon the reasons why something energetically bothers them. Because again, when we're able to articulate upon things, we allow for the observation in relationality to how another person takes our frustration. Because if we're building into a context where we articulate something that bothers us, and another person says like that's a you problem, or they move away from us because they go that's not very dream of you, then we start to say, oh, this is not someone that's looking towards working into a space of what we can create together. This is someone looking to build into a context of their own whims or inclinations. Right? And I keep on seeing that is the energy that says that they're not looking for performative relationships. They're looking for a real partnership. They're looking for a space where, and again, they can grow and build together. And that's the energy that says, that consistency is such that you don't, if someone's not, and again, we were talking about this in the lesson yesterday, if someone's being inconsistent with you, and you're saying, well, maybe if I wait, they'll get consistent, you're giving them consistency. You're giving them consistency that reaffirms to them that they can remain inconsistent towards you. It's like it's an absurdity, right? So we see even now that this is the energy, and it's interesting too, because I see that some of that energy and separation is also like recovering from fool energy, right? This is why I'm telling you it's magician, because it's the energy going, the only thing I see that this is why it's coming into magician energy, because it's coming out of fool energy, because this is the energy that says the only thing more foolish than someone not coming towards us inconsistently is giving someone consistency and building upon the spark of hope and saying, maybe if I get more consistent with someone, they'll start giving me consistency, when all you're doing by giving them consistency is proving to them that they can give you inconsistency and you will match it with consistency. So this is the energy that's like, again, they're not in a space of changing frequency, they're in the space of reading frequency. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that a lot of the energy coming into divine union, this is the training wheel energy. It's not that everything's perfect. Everything's not perfect. It's understanding and not getting overwhelmed when things aren't. It's working in the context of adaptability. And this is why I keep on seeing that this is a lot of the energy that's feeling for the first time the sacred breath of healthy partnership. And what is the sacred breath of healthy partnership? It is the request, right? The progress, like the articulation of a need that's met with progress. And this is why it's an Aries lesson, because when we find the sacred breath of partnership, right? When we articulate a need and it's met by progress, then it becomes the aspiration point, and it's not building upon inspiration. It's not waiting for something to change. It is seeing that force of change in action. And it's that force of change in action that allows us to flourish. It allows us to energetically fly, because when we feel the security of the healthy relationship that's built not upon inspiration, hoping it gets better, but aspiration, constantly seeing it, adapting and evolving in ways that feel like they're in alignment. We recognize we are in alignment because we understand it doesn't require perfection when we're working towards that common goal or that common purpose. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, this is like, I keep on hearing energy having personal breakthroughs. And the thing about breakthroughs Having a breakthrough is not saying I'm perfect, hooray. Literally having a breakthrough is I've got a lot of work to do. The song you hear when you're having a breakthrough is not I am perfect, everybody else stinks. That's not a breakthrough. A breakthrough is often the song you hear when you're having a breakthrough is I've got a lot of work to do. It's like that's it's the chorus, it's like boom. It's like, okay, it's like that is the song of a breakthrough. So I see that a lot of this energy is coming into a space of recognizing and understanding and accepting the assignments that they're giving themselves to move something into a space of energetic progress. Bottom of the deck on this reading. There it is. Ace of Wands. And I keep on seeing, and this is how you can usually tell if you're moving into a space of energetic progress, okay? The ego wants to be a stick in the mud, okay? Like the ego wants to be a stick in the mud. The ego wants to be a stick in the mud because it said the ego wants to plant its flag somewhere and say, this is where we're standing. And then you go, why? You go, because I decided. But why? Because I like it like this, right? Like that's like that. The ego is like, it just wants to plant that stick and it wants to stay there with the stick. And it doesn't even understand, like it doesn't want to explain it because it's a defense mechanism. And so often we can tell, like if you're ever wondering if something is coming from the space of the ego versus the higher self, the ego is like, because. The answer to the ego is because why? Because I said so. because I said so. Right? The higher self, when the higher self holds on to something, it's got leaves. It's got a reason. It's growing. It's working towards something. So how much time you got? Sit down. I'll walk you through it. We'll spend forever talking about this. How much time you got? Like it is the energy that's like we will just continue to work through this until you get it. Like this is the higher self always is willing to have that conversation. So if you're going through this right now, let yourself, ask yourself with love, right? Because this is what the higher self says to us every day. When we're holding on to something, they say, is that a seedling or are you being a stick in the mud? Is this something that's going to help you grow, or is this something that's just holding you firmly in place? That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So I encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Hangman card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the death card. It's going to be fine. It's not scary, I promise. We're going to we're going to talk about the history of the card. We're going to talk about the symbology of the card. We're going to talk about the way you can read that card in any way it may appear in your spread. I'm also going to offer you a unique spread that'll help you channel the messages of the death card into your own readings. And all you need to do if you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program is mosey on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a monthly paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church library. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I do my best to try to walk you through everything we've studied thus far, but if you wanted to catch up, now is a great time to join because you basically would have access to 9 hours worth of material. That's like 2 classes a week before our next class. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me to ask any questions that you may have in relation, and the other students to ask any question you may have in relation to anything we've studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of readings, you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library, which is access to over 13 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You'll also have access to the option of having a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will meet with you personally and assess where you are on your tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes most effectively going forward. One of the things I tried to do on these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining those classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings, services. I post each day's podcast there along with the picture of today's spread. You'll also have access to my Mystic Meditation articles, which gives you updates in terms of what we've been experiencing in the cards over the last few days. I also want to let you guys know that on top of and you'll also have access to our weekly newsletter, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. These can be purchased on an individual level or as a series. If you purchase the dream interpretation series, I encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.